Hello, I am Ashwini Saurabh Mehras from Department of Statistics, RBNB College, Srirampur. Today I am going to teach you stem and leaf chart. So in the last lecture we have seen the frequency curve and frequency polygon. So let's take one example on that and then we will continue for stem and leaf chart. So this is the given data for a number of students, that is marks and number of students are there, and we want to draw the frequency curve and frequency polygon for the same data. So we know that to draw the frequency curve we have to take the upper limit and less than cumulative frequency, that is LCF. So upper limit should be taken on x-axis and less than cumulative frequency they are taken on y-axis. So we are studying now the less than cumulative frequency curve, that is Ogilvy curves. So in the last lecture we have drawn frequency curve and frequency polygon, and now we are drawing the Ogilvy curves, means less than cumulative frequency curve and greater than cumulative frequency curve. So first is less than cumulative frequency curve. For that we will need UL means upper limit and LCF means less than cumulative frequency. So on x-axis we have to take upper limits. Here we can see that the upper limit are 10, then 20, 30, 40 and 50, and on y-axis we have to draw the LCF. We know the formula to calculate LCF, that is for first frequency as it is, then we are going to add the further frequencies, so 60, then 92 and 100. So these frequencies should taken on y-axis. So here I will draw with the help of scale. We can draw it properly. So for a 10, that is upper limit 10, we have to take LCF 5. Then for a 20 it is 17. Then for 60, 30 it is 60. Further 92. I am drawing approximately the less than Ogilvy curve for the given data. Similarly, we can draw the greater than Ogilvy curve for the given data by using the lower limit on x-axis and greater than cumulative frequency on y-axis, and we can draw that on the same graph, and the point of intersection will be our median for the given data, which will we study in next lectures. So now we will start our new concept, which is representation of data by stem and leaf chart. So this method is useful to represent the statistical data with the help of chart. So this is one example I have taken, and we will learn the stem and leaf chart with this with the help of this example. So here for this data we can see that it is 2-digit number, and the lower limit, the lowest point is this, that is 2, and the highest number is a 50 in that data. So note that for this the lowest number, that is this, is stem for the given data, and the highest number, that is number this side, that is at the decile side, this can be taken as leaf for the given data. So we have to observe the number of stems first. So here by observing the data we can see that the stem can be from 0 to 5. So here I will write stem, it is from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and now I will observe each observation in the given data, and the leaf can be written in front of the stem. So they are leaves. So now we are going to observe each observation. This is 31. So here stem is 3 and leaf is 1. So we have to write here 1. So 3 and 1. This is first number. Then the next number is 37. So here I should write 7. Then 0, 2. Similarly, we will solve the further example. Then 2, 9, 2, 2, 1, 5, 1, 7, and now here 0, 9, then 5, 0, 4, 7, 3, 4, 3, 4, then 1, 9, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 2, then 2, 3, here 1, 2, 0, 8, then 2, 6, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 8, 3, 6, 3, 3, 3, 7, 1, 3, then 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 1, 4, 8, then 2, 2, 1, 7, 2, 8, 3, 3, 4, 9. So this is the given data and this is stem and leaf chart for the given data. So here it looks like the histogram if we look at this chart horizontally. So this is the stem and leaf chart. So it is very easy to write down stem and leaf. So here we can observe that 49 is the highest number, 50 is the highest number and the lowest number is 2 in this data, and here the number 3 has more number of leaves. So this can be observed from the given data. So there are some remarks regarding this stem and leaf chart, that number of stems should be reasonable. So we will write down here some remarks. That is, the number of stem should not be too large or too small. Then if there is a 3-digit number, then in that case first 2 digits can be taken as stem and the third digit which is at unit place, and that can be taken as leaf for that data. Then the third remark can be stated as, suppose there are too many number of leaves for a stem, then we can split that stem into, suppose this is a 1 is a stem, then we can split this number as 1 and 1 star. So the number of leaves for this stem we can consider at from 0 to 5, and for this stem, that is for number 1 star, we can take the leaves from 6 to 9. So in this way we can split the stem and take these numbers as a leaves, and we can write the chart again. So this is the way when the number of leaves are too large. Then the next remark is, suppose we have a fractional number. Suppose we have 101.5. This is the number and the numbers are in the fractional form, and we want to draw the stem and leaf chart. Then we can take these integers as a stem and the fractional part, this is this 5, this can be taken as leaf. So in this way we can draw stem and leaf chart. So we can compare this chart with histogram. So if we look like this vertically, so this is a stem and leaf chart, and horizontally we can see that it is looking like the histogram. So like this. So this is the comparison with histogram, and here we can represent each and every number in stem and leaf chart. So this is the advantage of this chart than drawing the histogram. So here we have studied about the graphs, that is the representation of data from statistically from graphs. So this was the point, and under that we have seen how to draw histogram, frequency curves, frequency polygon, as well as ogive curves, which has two types, that is less than cumulative frequency type curve and greater than cumulative frequency distribution type curve. These are the ogive curves. And finally we have seen the stem and leaf chart. So these are some graphs for your syllabus, and we can see some advantages and limitations of these graphs. So next point is advantages of graph. So the first advantage to draw the graph is it condenses the given data. The second advantage is facts and figures are represented in attractive way. So this is the advantage, that we can look that data in a very representative way. Then the third is it is good for comparison. So for comparison purpose, from graph it becomes very easy to compare the data. And the next advantage is it is obviously it is easy to understand and easy to draw. So these are some advantages of drawing the graph. Then we will see some limitations of graph. The first limitation of graph is we are having only approximate idea about the data, but in the table we get the actual value of data. So in graph we have only approximate values. But the table method, that is drawing frequency distribution, so it will give us the actual statistical values. Then the second limitation is graphs are not useful in further analysis. While table will help us in further analysis. So graph are just a representative method for the data, so they are not actually useful for further statistical analysis. So they just give us the idea about nature of the distribution, that is the given distribution of data. The nature of that distribution will be clear from the graph. These are two limitations of graphs. The next point we will study is data validation. So while we take the data from any sample or population, then it becomes necessary to validate that data. So there are some points regarding to data validation. The first is totality check. Means suppose we are given that there are 100 observations and further we have to do the analysis or calculations of the data, then we have to first check the totality, means whether the given observations are exactly 100 or not, and if necessary we have to do the correction factor for that data. Means suppose the observations, if we counted, they are more than 100, then it may happen that some of the observations get repeated in that data. So we have to draw that observations outside the data, or we have to remove that extra observations which are repeated, and then again we are going for further analysis. So this may happens, and if we count the data and it happens that it is less than the number 100, so it may be because of some of observations may get deleted, so that observation should be replaced by mean. So average can be replaced instead of that observation, and we can further have the 100 observation and further analysis. So this totality should be checked for our data. And also if we look at the data, and we can see that if any number is outside the actual range of the data, this may happen, and then we can consider that observation as an outlier, and we have to remove that point from the given data. So the totality check means we have to actually count whether the given observations are by the given number, that is suppose 100. So suppose the observations are actually 100 or not, this should be checked. So this is just for example, the number 100. Then the next is we should check the range, means range check. Suppose we are given that a unit test is taken for 100 marks, then it should be noted that the marks should be between 0 to 100. The marks are between 0 to 100, that is in between this range. Suppose one of the student get marks 102, so this should not happen. Okay, so the range should be checked, that the number of marks should be between the range, the given range. Also any negative number or any fractional number should not be there in the data. This is the data type check. So the next is data type check. Means suppose we are given that there are 100 number of students in a class, and this is the given information, and if the number of students we got as a 95.5, so this is the wrong, means this is a fractional number. The number of students should not be in a fraction, or there should not be number like -5. So negative points or fractional numbers should not be in that data type. So which I have taken as an example, that is there are 100 number of students in a class. So in that case this should not happen. So we should check that data type. So these are some data validation technique. The next is consistency check. Means we have to check the data again and again. For example, suppose our given data is about male and female. Here given number is pass and fail. Suppose the given data is like this. So 60 pass fail student, then pass number of student and fail number of student. So this should not happen. So that these are the total number of students are there. So here we can see that the summation of 60 and 35 is not equal to 70 or it is not equal to 100. So totality should be checked. Here we can see that the consistency is not happening in the given data. So we can take another example as a 60, 65, then 5 and 35. So this is not possible for the data, that is we can say that this data is not consistent. Then the next data validation, that is the last, which is summary check. We will see this by example. Suppose we are given that summation of the observations is 20 and summation of the squares of observation, suppose it is 25 and the summation of the squares of number is 20. Suppose this is the given information, then we know that summation of xi minus xi square, this is always positive. So we can write summation of xi minus x into x bar square should be positive. Then summation of xi square, this equal to n into x bar square, that is summation of xi square upon n, this should be equal to x bar square. But here if we substitute the observation, then it will be, this is 25 upon 10 means 2.5, and here x bar square, so x bar square it is not the same, so this is not equal to the x bar square. So in this way we can check the summary of the data, and we can again say that the given data is not consistent. So these are some techniques to validate the given data. So at the end I will conclude this unit. So in this unit we have seen the presentation of data, that is by frequency distribution. We have seen some concepts like class limit, then less than cumulative frequency, mid value or class mark. So these concepts we have seen. We have also seen some some types of graphs to represent the data, and finally we have studied about the data validation techniques. So this ends the unit number 3. Thanks for watching.